Hey, welcome to Fabric Culture Podcast, episode 15, where we interview different creatives, get insights into their lives, and let you know how you can learn from them so you can apply it. All right, introduce yourself, man.
Hello, for the uninformed. My name is Wick Tankin. I'm a model, entrepreneur, actor, fighter, plethora of other things, and I'm excited to get into my first real interview.
All right, let's get it. So for you, let's go one by one. How did you get into each one of the things you do now, and
Mhm.
which one do you think is the one you're focusing on?
Right. Uh, I would have to say at like the current point that I'm in right now,
Hmm.
I'd be focusing on kind of fighting. It might just be the mood of the day, the mood of the week, just how I'm feeling, but I'm kind of leaning mostly towards that. Now, that's something I've been doing ever since I was a kid. When I was back in Arizona, I my parents had put me in taekwondo when I was a kid.
Okay.
And so I just done that nonstop. Basically just had that just my life basically. So after I left Arizona, I left age of 8 with a black belt in Taekwondo. After that, I basically stopped fighting. Did sports, through all that, and now I'm just starting to get back into it under a different, like fighting style.
Why'd you stop?
Um, I would say a different culture change. Arizona's a lot more different. It's a lot more. I wouldn't say rural, but it was a lot more calmer there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, not much goes on in Arizona, but when you come out to Dallas, it's a little bit more fast paced. It's a different speed,
Yeah, like it keeps you busy.
of course.
That's what happened with me with football and powerlifting, where I was like, okay, like I got really good at these, and then things just start picking up. There's so many distractions, and I've heard that tell a lot of models too, where they were really on their grind, and something switched up. And like, okay, now I'm coming back. But
Yeah.
what do you think is a good way to keep focus? 'Cause I know a lot of people lose that focus.
I would say a good way to keep focus, regardless if you're doing modeling or any other thing that you just want to prioritize doing, is having little milestones within it. You
Mm,
know, these little things that give you, little shots of dopamine, little things for you to keep coming back towards, giving you that drive. It's almost like an addiction.
yeah,
It's a passion at first, and then you just want to just hone in on it and be able to just zero in on it. You got to lock in.
yeah. And I'll move this. But what are small goals for you? What are like your milestones where you're focused on now? Okay, I want to do this
Mm-hmm.
to get to here.
I would have to say small milestones would just be content and be happy with what I'm doing.
Mm,
You see, I'm very as I was saying earlier, I got all these other things I'm doing, modeling, acting, entrepreneur, through all that. Being content with not making huge amounts of progress immediately at the jump.
yeah, not that instant gratification. You gotta
Exactly.
I know that you're working towards these goals and not. I guess everyone gets their hopes up. They want things to be so quick,
Hmm.
and then they realize, oh, that's not how it's gonna work. Like there's some people who that works for, but almost it seems where most of the people where it happens so quick, really they already had like a huge skill base, and then you see them come out of nowhere. But really, they've been editing for other people for like
Exactly.
15 years. They've been modeling for like 10 years.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, holy shit, where did this person come from?
Yep.
But they've been working behind the scenes. You just didn't know about them.
Exactly. Exactly. While y'all were doing other things out there, they were sitting in the lab grinding,
Hmm.
working on stuff.
So it feels like an overnight success, but really it's been like 10 years in the making for
Yeah.
them.
Now, for some people, there is definitely overnight successes. You see
Yeah.
that a lot in TikTok more
Hmm.
recently. People just do one thing, it blows up, they keep doing it, and then after that, it's just a test on how they control that, how they obtain that. Will they crash? Will they rise?
Yeah.
Whatnot.
But that's even scarier because one, you don't have the what, like the base of like content. You don't have the base of
Hmm.
skill, and so a lot of people fall into traps where either they don't have the right people around them to prepare them
Right.
for what's about to happen, or they don't have the skill set, so they blow up one
Exactly.
crazy song, one crazy video,
Hmm.
and then it's like, well, shit, what do I do
Exactly,
now?
exactly. And then they ride that wave. They get all that gratification
Hmm.
immediately. It's like a drug. They immediately get all that gratification, and once they don't get that same amount anymore, they just crash back down, and they
Yeah.
keep trying to get that same high from it, but they never do.
And now they have like the ego without the skill.
Yep, yep.
'Cause I heard about one rapper, he blew up from like one or two songs, and they were like, "We'll give you like 3 million, 4 million to sign with us," and he was like, "No, I want 6 million."
I
And they're like, "No," and he's like, "Well, 6 million, and I'm out." It's like,
Oh,
okay, bye.
bro, like I mean, it's a good thing to put yourself on a pedestal and value, but 3 million is a good amount, bro.
Yeah, and you gotta. There's some people who are like independent where they've been on the grind and they know how to make it a business and make it good music or good whatever
Hmm.
without someone else. But if you
Exactly.
don't have that skill base, then you're out on your own.
Yeah, when you really depend on a team, it's very, beneficial to,
Hmm.
keep close ties with that team, realize that it's not a one man show. You're in a band. You're not just a singer. You're not a pop star. You're in a band.
Yeah, for sure. I had a whoo. I had one editor. He was doing good for me, and he had
Mhm.
like some mental health issues. He like crashed out for a bit. And I was like, "Well, shit. What am I gonna do now?" And so I
Yeah.
was like trying to find someone else who's like had the same vision as me. But I was like, "Well, I don't know what I want to do now," because he was making. I was doing like street interviews. I wanted to
Hmm.
switch. I wanted to do this, then I wanted to do like street interviews, and so I was having fun with that. It was
Hmm.
like more interesting than what I was doing before. So I was doing like fashion tips before,
Mm. So you're still
but
just kind of figuring out where your place is amongst
I
this.
I figured out my place, and right when I got started again, he hit me back up. I was like,
Oh,
I
jeez.
was like, of course, this is what always happened. It's like it happens with a lot of stuff where it's like a lot of people they're almost there, they feel like they don't know what they're gonna do, and then all of a sudden someone hits them up, or like a
Hmm.
modeling place hits them up, or like their skill base is there, and then all of a sudden things just start clicking
Yep,
because
yep,
they've been putting in the work.
yep. Everything just starts to fall in line. It's almost like a perfect storm.
Yeah, but it's also how do you basically keep aware of those opportunities and not miss them? So I feel like a lot of people they see opportunities and like I'm not ready for it, or
Mm,
I don't think I can do it, and they kind of basically they have fear and they
right.
back away.
As far as me, at the beginning, I would say I was a lot more hesitant on taking things. When I was on backstage, initially looking for acting gigs,
Yeah.
I would get very sparse amount of gigs on there, but I would still feel hesitant to apply. I'd be like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, they probably aren't looking for me. Oh, I'm not 6 feet tall. But over time, I realized I just got to shoot my shot at everything.
Hmm.
I just got to keep throwing myself out there until they're like yes, and then eventually when they're like yes, more people will see that they said yes and they want to say yes to me.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. Now these people want them. Okay, I want them too. And
Exactly.
they finally see the value because other
Hmm.
people saw the value. How do you build that thick skin? 'Cause I know
Pain,
pain.
pain and
Yeah.
trauma, man. Pain and trauma, bro. Once you've been around long enough that you've just seen the worst of things,
Hmm.
it really ain't that bad.
Hmm.
Like when you've just been like alone in a room, staring at the wall, being like, "Man, this ain't it." You start to think about the things you're afraid of, and you realize it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. For you, you've got fighting. You got acting. How do you keep yourself prepared in all of those, and which yeah, we'll go with how do you keep yourself prepared?
How do I keep myself prepared?
Yeah, like what skill sets are you building in those?
Um, to keep myself prepared, I would have to say, having a good being able to organize well. It seems, very just a low hanging idea, but being able to split yourself amongst throughout your day, because we all have a short amount of time within a day,
Hmm.
and then that in a week. So having a good schedule, organizing yourself is very good at creating a good environment and a good biome to grow those skills. Like for fighting, I have 3 days a week that I go. I make sure I don't have anything blocking those time frames, 6 to 8. I go there. I, try my best. I try to learn something. I test limits. That's another thing. Testing limits. you're never going to get anywhere if you don't test limits, regardless if it's fighting, modeling, whatnot. You got to see how far you can push the boundary before, there's a little resistance. And then you got to keep pushing it more and more after that.
And also, testing those limits goes back to like build a thick skin. You're like, okay,
Of
this
course.
is what's gonna happen if I fail. This is what's gonna happen if
Yep.
I go into a challenge. So, okay, now I know what to do to prepare for this next one.
Exactly. It's just like somebody it's like a kid in high school or like middle school,
Hmm.
and they've like never talked to females in their life.
Yeah.
Initially, they're scared. They have them on this high pedestal where they're like just intimidated by them. Over time, they get like a random conversation in the lunchroom. Hi, hello, stuff like that. And initially that grows more and more, even though it's so small, it's building confidence. And then that develops into a conversation, that develops into a friendship, that develops into whatnot and whatnot.
They're like, oh wait, this isn't that bad. This is like simple.
Exactly, exactly. We are our own criticizers. We are our own like enemies. A lot of us out there, especially me in particular, suffer from like perfectionism,
Hmm.
where we are just so overwhelmed by the fact of fearing that we're not outputting enough. We're not outputting the best that we can do. So we're very critical on everything we make. Like I would assume for you doing editings and just building your brand, you've had moments where you're like, this isn't good enough. I need to put it back in the lab.
Every day.
I need to keep cooking. It's not
Yeah.
ready yet. But
Lately, I've been almost doing the opposite. So I'm trying to find that middle ground
exactly.
where I've just been like, I used to think too hard about it, so now I'm like just throwing shit out there.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to find that middle ground where it's like you're working on the craft, but you're still appreciating that. Hey, like if this works, this works.
of
But
course.
because you got to find some line. Or there's some people who understand that the perfectionism. They're like, okay, this is the. It's like that sweet spot where
Mm,
they're okay. This is good, or this is
right.
great to me, and people will like love this beyond me.
Hmm.
So it goes back to that fear of rejection or that fear of
Exactly.
finding what works.
Right. And people, when you're producing stuff for people, people love to see the process. People love to
Hmm.
see the growth. When you got like very notable figures out there like PewDiePie or Markiplier, they've been around for so long. You've seen them develop from a little shoddy camcorder with like 1080p. I'm not 1080p, like 180p, just like talking in a closet. And looking at it now, that's goofy and just a
Yeah,
horrible way. But now you look at them, high production value. They got soundproof all around them. They got lighting. They're taking care of their craft, but it took time. And that kind of helps out other people who are desiring to get into stuff like this.
yeah.
They notice that whatever they do at the beginning, they will always most likely get better in the future.
And funny enough, with PewDiePie, what was it? I had seen like a lot of his stuff. I haven't watched in a while. Like I've seen some of his stuff. Like it's kind of cool the evolution. Like now he's dealing with fatherhood, and that's like a
Exactly.
cool balance. Where, oh, this is like where he's at in his life now.
Hmm.
But I remember, I think it was like 2 years ago, people were shitting on him for his camera because it was like just good enough. But he was like the editing was amazing,
Really?
and him as a person is like amazing.
Right.
So they're like, bro, you're like a millionaire. What is with this camera? And it'd be like every single comment section for I think a year. I just see like people like, what the fuck, bro? Just because
Jeez.
some people, they go all out in every single one of those areas,
Right.
but sometimes it really is just enough to have. Well, no, just in general, it just matters. It's the content.
Hmm.
It's like, is your modeling good? Is your fighting good? 'Cause, like,
Right.
if someone's talking shit and they can't fight at all, then it's like it doesn't matter what you're
Yeah.
doing. It doesn't matter if you're getting a lot of publicity
Hmm.
and then you can't fight. It doesn't matter if everyone knows about you but you can't model. It's like, well, you're not gonna get the gig.
It's all about the balance.
Yeah. Hmm.
Balancing that shit talking and actual fighting skills. Look what you got,
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. You balancing good modeling and publicity, being in the faces of designers, photographers. Up, you're on New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
It's just finding that good boundary in between. Now, of course, you can get to the high parts of that where like you're
You're so big that it doesn't really matter, but
right.
most people won't get that big, so you have to work on your skills to get at least in the middle zone where
Hmm.
people respect your craft, and then you're like, okay, now I'm watching for either the content, the personality, or
Right.
whatever your skills are.
Yeah, you gotta also humble yourself.
Hmm.
You can't be too uppity in your craft to the point where you are not seeing the flaws that you have. That's why it's good to have like a team around you. You got people to tell you this is not it. This is, it could be better here. Do do do.
It's almost there, but settle down.
Yeah, you can't be afraid of criticism.
Yeah, yeah.
That is like very important in order to progress. If you don't have criticism, you're gonna plateau. You're never gonna move up.
Yeah, that's the only way you can push yourself.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, their ego gets in the way and they think they're there, but
Hmm.
it's like there's some people who are there, but their ego
Right.
gets in the way. But a lot of people, it's my ego's here and nothing's happening. I'm not getting what I think I deserve. But a lot of the times, if you're not getting what you deserve, you're
Mm,
probably not there yet. So you have to keep on pushing. You got
right.
to keep on working on your craft.
Yep. And that like also ties into like the rap scene a little bit. If you know Joyner Lucas, for the
Hmm.
longest amount of time, he wanted to keep reminding people that he's the underdog.
Yeah. Hmm.
Nobody's looking at him, but he's the best there ever was. And he feels like he deserves all this spotlight. Well, I mean, he's a very good rapper,
Hmm.
but look what that's really gotten him. Not too much right now. Now that might be different. That might just mean, he's just not as into it as he was once
Yeah.
before, but it very much slowed down his growth process and his just drive. Cuz that's also just a very just sad thing almost when you're
Yeah, as I
going.
remember, what was it, a few years back when he was
Mhm.
like calling out Machine Gun Kelly for
Yeah.
that. He's like, hey, you're the main name, like on here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, what the fuck is this? I should be up there.
Yep. And when you're just upset all the time, that just makes you not want to work. That makes you not feel good about the thing that you've spent your whole life working on. When he's going around saying, "This Machine Gun Kelly dude, he's who y'all like, but
Hmm.
me, I feel like I'm so much better." Thinking about that over and over, it's like if in his head he's like, "Why am I doing this? So why am I even rapping in the first place?" And it's just a decline after that. He's losing motivation, and it's just not enjoyable anymore.
And the opposite of that, I think, is a good example was what was it, like 2 or 3 years back with Tyler the Creator and
Mhm.
DJ Khaled when they released their albums in the same weekend.
Mhm.
And Tyler, he's just working on his craft, and like he didn't think he'd get the #1 album of the week,
Mhm.
but he did. And then he was like, "Oh, I was kind of surprised by
Yeah, yeah,
that."
yeah.
But DJ Khaled like, "What the fuck? Like, what is this? Like this type of music like isn't for the club, isn't for this."
Mhm.
And he's just
Mhm.
like freaking out, and it's like, well, it happens.
Yeah.
He he recovered a few weeks later, but he was crying for a while there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because it's like his was listed to every single feature on that album was
Mhm.
like, the best of the best.
Right.
And he's like, how the fuck did I lose to this guy when this type of style of music and
Yeah.
just didn't get it?
I mean, that's another thing with the humbling. You can't, as far just as an analogy, you can't walk in the cage for fighting and be like, "Oh yeah, there's no way I'm gonna lose to this guy. I'm
Hmm.
gonna meet him. I'm gonna beat him easily." You're too much thinking about like, "Oh, this is easy." Up, then he slips you, gets like a quick jab, and it's wraps. You gotta, you gotta realize there's a threat everywhere, and that you still gotta be aware
Yeah,
of yourself and your surroundings.
yeah. It seems like some of the best fighters have that. What we've talked about a lot is that balance where it's like they have the egos, like I'm gonna beat this guy, but they
Hmm.
also thought about I know this guy is good because he's fighting me.
Yeah,
So
of
he's skilled in
course.
this, and this. This is how I'm gonna fight him in this, and this. I know how I'm gonna
Exactly.
counter. And so they've prepared well because they know that person is good
Hmm.
too. And so they beat the fuck out of them because
Yep, 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 yep.
look,
Exactly.
I knew what you were gonna do. I prepared.
Yeah. But like somebody who goes in is like, "Nah, there's no way I'm gonna lose to
I
this
don't
dude
even
in
need
a
to think
million
about
years."
it.
And then he doesn't know the dude he's fighting is like a very good grappler. He's over here thinking it's a striking game. Boom, dude grabs him, drops him on the floor. His raps. He didn't think he was a grappler, and now look at him, unprepared and lost the fight.
Yeah. So well, what do you know?
I know you can't think everybody's under you. You got to have
Hmm.
at least some self awareness and just realization that you're fighting where you are because of these other people. The roster is built up of these great people, and you are just one of them. You're not
Yeah.
number one. You're in the middle. The roster fluctuates. The leaderboard fluctuates. everybody can be on the same level as you, and you just gotta be prepared.
So you said, what other type of fighting do you do?
Currently, now after doing taekwondo,
Mm-hmm.
I'm prioritizing Muay Thai.
I love Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai and a hint of MMA. Basically 50-50.
Yeah, yeah. Why 50-50?
I mean, I've the gym that I go to, which is Octagon MMA. The first class is Muay Thai, and then after that class, it's mostly it's MMA.
Okay, so you go to that hour class for however
Mhm.
long it is, and you go to the next one right after, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you still carry over some of the same teachings that you get from Muay Thai into MMA. Is just you learn things that in the rules would be different. Like in Muay Thai, you can't do you can grapple, but you can't do takedowns.
Mm,
I mean, you can throw them down, but you're not going to be on the ground finding them. And MMA, all bets are off, really.
yeah.
But like, it's just learning the specifics. Like as far as boxing, you're focusing on just the hands. You're not really focusing on the legs. Kickboxing, you're doing both, but you're doing less of the boxing since you got to split your time up into learning both.
Yeah.
Muay Thai, you're basically learning everything and just honing in on the core fundamentals so that you can just perfect that. It's like the formation. It's perfecting not the formation, the foundation.
Yeah.
Like the twist when you punch, the way you throw that elbow, the type of clench you do when you're doing knees, just stuff like that.
I gotta say, as someone who like mainly did like wrestling before, when I tried Muay Thai, god damn, that shit was hard.
Ooh.
I did it for 6 months, but here's a mistake I made. I wanted to go to like one of the best gyms around here, and that gym was far as fuck. So I kept up with it for like 6 months to a year, and then I realized like I should have gone. There's one over here. I think it's like a Mauler or something.
Molar, yeah. No, I
Molar.
was I was initially gonna go
I
there
should have
before I
gone there
went.
because it's like 10 minutes away from me. Even now, it's still 10 minutes away.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking about going back there now. Like once I get my money up a
I've
little bit
heard good
more.
things
Yeah.
about Molar.
The one I went to, 25 minutes away, and
Hmm.
then on the way back with traffic, it was like 45. And so like I just worked my ass off for like 2 hours, and now I'm just like, I gotta drive.
Sitting in traffic. My body hurts.
Yes,
I
exactly.
got I got to
My shins.
gas brake, gas brake. Up, cars behind me. Gas.
Yeah. So I'm so as someone who likes trying a lot of things, I was surprised I lasted as long as I did because that shit was hard. And
Oh
then
yeah,
it's
no,
like,
it's quite brutal, man.
yeah.
Countless times. It's very unorthodox to fight and also do modeling,
Hmm.
especially Muay Thai. Muay Thai is known as one of the most destructful and just damaging fighting styles there is. It's the art of eight limbs.
Yeah.
Reason it's the most damaging, you're using your elbows and your knees. These are literally blades, bro. The bones here, I've seen people get sliced up easily from just a and that's
That's it.
and these scars that people get, you would think that modeling is not the thing you also want to be doing while doing it.
Hmm.
Because I mean, they don't want to put you in a designer's clothes if you're cut up and looking like beat up, just beat up.
Yeah, yeah. So why did you decide to do both then?
I'm hard headed. I'm hard
I
headed,
like
man.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do modeling. I want to do fighting.
Hmm.
I just got to make it work. Just don't get hit.
Yeah,
I can just not get hit. I won't get scarred up. I can still model. I can still act, and I guess that's a good motivation.
be skilled enough to.
Skilled enough that I don't need to worry about overworking myself
Hmm.
or cutting off other ties because of doing what I'm doing.
How do you balance those three or balance those two, whichever way you want to look at it?
Brute force.
Brute force.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really with something as very sporadic and multiple variables as modeling and Muay Thai. Muay Thai, you don't know. One day you could go in, not get injured at all, have the best time of your life. Next day you go in, up. Now I got a joint injury, and now I got to get a CT scan the next day. It can't work. Modeling, I got a limp when I'm doing fashion shows now, which happened to me last month.
Oh, for
I'm
real?
still injured right now, but I'm still doing both. Like I said, brute forcing, and I'm hard headed.
Yeah.
So, and then modeling is all dependent on casting calls. Do you fit it? Getting out to those casting calls, what you're doing at it, whom you're talking to, because that's what a lot of people come into modeling and not understanding. It's networking.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the best way you're going to get around and move up quickly. You can't just go in by yourself to these places and be like, all right, I'm going to show them what I got. They like it. They like it. They don't. They don't. You got to,
Make moves.
yeah, you got to be a variable. You can't
Yeah.
just depend on these variables.
Yeah, because then it's up to chance.
Yeah. You want to increase that chance as much as you can.
Exactly. Even if it's up to chance, you want to keep on. You want to make the odds in your favor as
Of
much as
course.
possible. Yeah.
And when you know a lot more people, there's a lot more chances that are at your disposal and at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
If you are really good, your name can travel well. They can pass you along, and next thing you know, you're in a music video. Just like me, I went from doing a fashion show that was pretty, low key, local,
Yeah.
not big whatsoever. But the people I met from there, boom, now they got me on The Chosen, which is on Netflix and Pureflix.
Oh, yeah.
From there, I meet other models. Now I'm in other model shows. One of the people I met from Chosen put me on, basically sent me a casting call for a music video. Boom, I'm over here talking with the Big X, Cootie, and I forgot the other dude's name. And I'm in a music video that is now currently at, I believe, 1.7 million views.
It's crazy.
And I'm in the first like 5 seconds over there just talking to Big X, just both of us just sitting there at the table eating Rice Krispies for like 2 hours, man.
I love that.
It was a pleasure. All
So-
because I talked to the right people.
What was the process for that music video?
Very slow. It was like a snowball almost.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of time to get things moving, especially when you're working with like high value people,
Yeah.
multiple high value people. You got to, all their schedules got to get coordinated. They all got to be on like the same, vibes. They can't come in there and be like clashing or whatnot, or have, like baggage from like, previous interactions with people, go in there just upset. It's very, very dependent on the crew. That's
Yeah.
why it takes a majority of the time. The rappers, they get in there, you tell them what to do, they go out and do it, and it's done. The crew, they got to set up all the set pieces. They're the ones that built up the story. They got to
Mhm.
give the extras the scripts. They got to tell the extras what to do. They got to make sure the extras are good, giving them food, stuff like that. They got to make sure the rappers are good. The crew is one of the most valuable pieces to create a music video.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the rappers over here building the scenes,
Yeah.
over here. Yo, you want to be in the music video? All right, bet. Do this, do that, do that. All right, I'm gonna get y'all some food. All right, I'm gonna edit this video. I'm gonna use these effects. Do. No,
Yeah.
they don't do none of that.
They're like the.
Now some do.
They're like the main course of dessert, but the foundation is like everything that came before them. The prep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like making a gourmet cuisine. It's not just the T-bone steak in the middle. It's the aromatics. It's the sauce. It's the the dressing. It's the visual, because some people don't know. Visually eating is a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like when you're eating something, if it doesn't look good to you, it's gonna
Just like throw
subconsciously
it on
taste
the.
different.
If you throw like some amazing food on a plate, just like
Exactly.
slosh it on there.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Okay. I guess this is
Like
good.
you don't know. This is the most gourmet ingredients that their money can buy. But like, if it looks like
Baby
trash,
food.
if it looks like trash, your mind's gonna treat it like trash.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
when you smell bad food or just like bad aromas, and then you eat something, it tastes like it.
Yeah, you can't handle it.
Yeah, it's like what kids used to do back in the day. They would like sniff a banana and eat an apple. It's like, yo, bro, this is a banana and apple. This is a banana flavored apple. Over there creating like
Yeah.
a concoction in an apple. They're just eating the apple.
They're so happy about it though.
Whoa, this
is the best thing
yo,
ever
did y'all
had.
know? You can eat an apple and smell a banana. It tastes like a banana apple. Yo, that's crazy, bro. I can go to NASA with this information. Like, whoa.
That's the crazy thing about kids. Like, they would too. So let me
Yeah,
go up there. Let me
yeah.
report this to these scientists.
Bro, and that is something I've learned recently. Kids are the best. They are the most purest form of creativity.
Yeah.
They are not burdened
They're
by
true
like,
believers.
exactly.
They lack the self-doubt. They'll tell you
There is
anything.
no rules in their head. They're
Yeah.
not worried about the laws of physics. They're not worried about, this is a triangle. No, this is a diamond. Like, that doesn't work. It's like, no, it's a triangle. If you look at it, if you tilt it this way and then, like, stretch it over here, it's a triangle.
And that shit makes them the best roasters.
I know.
Why does your belly look like that?
Bro. Somebody else, like an adult would be like, oh, he's probably just big bone. Oh, he's, it's a muscle. The kid, he tells you what he sees.
How'd you get that fat?
There's no rules, bro. This is playground insults. You step on the field, anything goes.
There's no hesitation here.
Exactly. But that's one thing society does. They, get everybody to do the same thing almost.
Yeah, it's almost like the shape game where you have squares and circles. They squish you into the squares.
Exactly.
Like, you're gonna fit in this block we tell you to fit into.
It's like a bunch of clones. You
Yeah.
see, like, people, like one of those gifs where, like, there's just a bunch of suit people walking out. They all look the same.
All look the same, fall and walking the same, talking the same.
Yep. A few minutes before that, they look like different kids, like polka dots. Now they're black and white dots.
It's like, what do you call it? I forgot what it's called. Basically, you change your speech.
Volleyball?
No. Like when most people, the example I'm thinking of is it's basically Mario Lopez. He had a Mexican accent, and people forgot that. And so, they saw him talking, like, wait, I'm trying to get these acting roles. You're not going to see me speaking in my LA accent when I'm... People are blown away.
Wearing a mask, almost.
Yeah.
We're just being an actor.
Mm-hmm.
That's an acting.
I'm going to remember it after this. It's not going to matter anymore. But it's... Basically, you change your speech for everyone does it. You change your speech. Yeah, code switching.
Literally that.
Yeah, you change your
so much.
Yeah, you change your speech for the environment you're in.
Exactly.
And when you're friends, you just free balls. They ain't gonna care what you're saying because they're your friends. They know you.
Yep.
But when you're in a business situation,
you gotta talk formal. You gotta talk proper. Everything you say, you gotta say it with intent. You gotta say
exactly.
You gotta be articulated of what you're saying. You gotta make sure there's no room for errors, misjudgment, because you can be dealing with money. You say the wrong thing.
Well, I'm going to lose my money just because I want to say whatever I want.
I know. You can lose deals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you can get into miscommunication.
Yeah.
When you start bringing slang and stuff into there, people might not understand it. You got to be, when you're doing formal business stuff, you got to be as basic and as general as possible. So there's no room for error.
Yeah, you got to be clear and direct.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they'll have their head turned like a doll. Like, wait, what are you talking about?
Can you say that again? But can you describe it in a different way? It's like, okay. And then you start getting jumbled up. You start thinking about it. And next thing you know, you're saying something completely different, not what you initially wanted. And then the contract changes and you've missed out on $1,000.
Good job. You lost yourself money.
Tragic.
So for you, what do you think is the most important skill set we'll go each one by one, for an actor starting out, for a model starting out, and a fighter starting out? The skills you should build.
Acting. You got to be okay with being in front of the camera. You got to be okay with being in front of crowds. Like, I did choir, I did theater. If you can't get out there on the stage in front of 300 people, you're never going to be able... I mean, it's easier to do it in front of a camera because nobody's there watching you except for the crew, the other cast members. But that's going to hold you back if you're worrying about anything other than being the role that you are supposed to be. You're not going to be the role that you're supposed to be. You're going to be you. You're going to be you on the stage afraid. You're not going to be Dante. You're not going to be this military person. You're going to be you pretending to be this military person while also being afraid.
Yeah, for real. Like, what was it? I hadn't acted in a while, and I just had to be a thug. I was in this opera last year. Luckily, I didn't have to sing because my voice is trash now. But I was the main thug for this boss in a mafia, and I was nervous as fuck because I hadn't been on stage since I was in my early 20s. I was like, oh shit, this has been a while. And I was like, I don't have time to worry about that.
Hey, it's too late. My call time is in the next 20 minutes. I don't have a chance to be like, I don't want to do this. It's too late.
So I was nervous as fuck, but it's like, it's too late now. I don't got time. It's the same thing with a lot of fashion shows. It's like, well, I get a little nervous. It's like, well, I'm about to walk. Got to do it.
My walk's up next. My designer's up next. I gotta walk. If I mess up, I mess up. What am I gonna do? Go out there, freeze, and then run away? That's even worse.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather go out there and mess up than go out there and make a fool of myself. People are gonna remember that a lot more than, oh, he tripped a little bit when he walked. Okay, everybody does that.
Yeah.
Oh, he walked up there, looked like a deer in traffic, and ran through the crowd. Everybody's gonna remember that. You made a fool of yourself. No designer wants that to happen.
True. One of the craziest walks I saw was, it was one of those fuck ups, but it wasn't her fault. It was like, I think either there's a wardrobe malfunction or there's a heel malfunction, and somehow she made it look like, oh yeah, that's supposed to happen. Just kept on walking, and it was like, wait, what? Like her heel was like fucked up, and she just kept on walking like a normal model walk. It's like, damn, that's cool.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
That's honing in on the craft.
Yeah,
man.
she walked like the heel was still there.
Exactly. It's like somebody who's doing it like a fashion show. It's like they have more rugged look, and then this cat just runs across the stage. Oh, they pick up the cat. They use him as a prop. Oh, I'm a crazy cat lady. You just created a new role. You used innovation.
Oh yeah, this cat was supposed to be there.
Everybody in the crowd's like, oh, how did they coordinate that cat?
Yeah, they planned that really well.
Man, she really showed us. In fact, that cat just walked in front of
us. You got 2 people who like knew, and then 100 people were like, wow, that was amazing.
Wow. It's like, wow. This place is really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are really creative scenes they're doing.
I know. And that's another thing with going into your second question, as far as like things you need for modeling. Being able to be, well, this also ties into acting as well. What do they call it? It's thinking on the fly. It's they have improv.
Yeah, improvisation.
Being able to improv, this literally just works with anything, not just modeling and acting. Modeling, acting, fighting, literally life. If you're able to improv, thinking on the fly, you can't lose almost.
Yeah, those are the legends.
It's just reaction. When you're driving and somebody swerves into your lane, I mean, it's reaction, but it's also improv. Okay, you move to the left while also looking at the back, making sure you don't hit somebody who's coming up behind you. Now you just saved yourself getting into a car accident, trauma, and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's a certain skill set that goes into all those. It's like you've done things so much, you kind of know when things are going to happen. Like you can kind of tell, like, oh, these lights are going to blind me. This is going to happen. It's I told one of my friends here in Dallas, it's like when you have so many bad drivers here, you get like a spidey sense. Like, oh, this person's about to cut me off.
He's like, I've seen this a million times.
Yeah.
I've seen it. He's about to go zoom through. Dog, literally, when I see people driving, in my mind, I'm already like, okay, I can tell the way he's speeding up compared to my speed and the cars in front of him.
He's about to hop in here.
He's going to come over to the right.
Yeah.
Next you know, he does.
So, wow.
It's like, oh, I saw that coming.
Yeah,
I can read the future? No, it just happens so frequently. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh. Well,
that was a pleasant surprise.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
That's why it's okay to mess things up.
Mm-hmm.
You will never know that that's going to happen if you're not present there, or if you don't mess up. Like if I'm driving and it's like I'm going down this road, I was going down this road, there's a big pothole in the middle. I zoom through it once, dun dun dun, up, I lost a tire. Next time I go through, I'm not gonna zoom through it. I'm gonna
slow down and you go around.
And then not even from that, I'm using that experience elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I gonna slow down driving that road, I'm gonna be a little bit more conscious driving down roads that I don't know that there could be a pothole down.
Yeah, now you're more aware.
Exactly. And I'm a better person. I'm a smarter person. And I'm leaving more room for success.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we were talking about in the beginning, about increasing your chances on success. Networking increases your chances. There's more chances that your card can get pulled. Something like this, when you're learning what not to do to be unsuccessful, you're increasing that pie chart. You're going from 50% to 60%, 60% to 70%.
This is a weird one. This is what we figured out for street interviews. Every time we ask like a guy, a chick, anyone, like, hey, we're we're gonna do this. We're gonna record like a video for YouTube or
Mhm.
TikTok. Like, oh hell no. And if I just say I'm gonna record a video, I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, like they feel more comfortable. Just like, wait, what? You don't know me. I'm just gonna
Yep.
record a video. What do you think
Yep.
the video is for?
And that right there, figuring out what exactly to say has
Yeah,
increased your success chance with getting more content.
yeah.
You
It's
know
like
what to say now.
way more people say yes, but I don't know. I don't really understand the psychology behind that one because.
I want to say putting a label on something
Hmm.
probably. When you say you just want to create a video, I mean that can still be like just complete, just like throw some people off.
Hmm.
But they could be like, oh, he might want to use it for a school project.
Mm.
There's a lot of the unknown
There's
plays a
more
key role.
options.
Of course,
When I
when
think
you
YouTube too, they're like, okay, like I'm gonna make a fool of myself. It's not gonna
yeah,
be
exactly. They immediately think of
the worst
things
case
they've seen
scenario.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like it's a subconscious thing. When they're on TikTok and they see somebody get a fool made out of them because some dude walked up with a camera and a microphone, is like, all right, I'm gonna record you. That fear jumps into them before they can think about, is this person gonna do that to me? When you say
Yeah.
you're just gonna make a
Hmm.
video, they don't initially think about TikTok, YouTube, whatnot. They just think video, camera, okay, recording. They don't have. There's little room for them to be afraid.
Yeah, there's less fear there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's interesting because everyone who's like I've recorded with, like they can reach out to me on Instagram like, hey, like I don't like that one, can you take it
Mhm.
down? But it's like people don't know that, so like they're like you said, the fear builds up
Yeah.
to where like, okay, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. I'll make a
Exactly.
fool of myself, but
Yep. Then again, they also don't know you as a person. They
hmm
might not know that you are okay with, if they are uncomfortable with something that you have created using them,
hmm
that you are willing to take it down. They are
yeah,
afraid of conflict,
yeah,
as everybody usually is,
true,
almost. They don't want to get into an argument with you. It's like, oh, and that they don't want to do something they're going to regret. That's the
yeah,
main reason. Something new that pops up, they don't want to regret that in the future. That's why people are very hesitant on things. They are not willing to make those mistakes. They're not ready to experience negativity. They want everything cookie cutter, positive, happy, happy, great.
yeah, easy roads, no
Exactly.
bumps.
Exactly. You don't get nowhere if you don't make any risks.
What's something you regret that you've learned from and like it's made you better in the long run?
Taking risks.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. My whole life up to a fair point, I've been like a goofball. I've just been a goofy individual. Throughout high school, I've always been around the cool kids, the popular people. I've had people know me before I knew them, and I was still just not confident in a way.
Hmm.
Like I didn't talk to females at all. Like in high school, I slowly started like integrating more of that towards the end, and then like COVID hit, so I was thrown out there in the water. It's like, all right, bro, you had your chance. You had 12 years to man up. We're taking this opportunity from you. Next person. And that's when I just had to jump deeper in the water.
Yeah.
I was given
Shit,
an
COVID was my
opportunity.
renaissance.
Man, I still feel like I'm 18 because I was 18 when COVID happened, and
Yeah.
everything feels like a dream
Hmm.
almost. I'm not used to this. I'm afraid, but I'm still over here because I'm hard headed and
Yeah.
brute force.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Exactly.
I think what did I grow? I think it's the same thing, taking risks, but it was also more importantly like there's a lot of big moments in your life where you take risks and people fear to take those risks, and then it's like, oh shit. So now every time I see those opportunities, there's a lot of it's like it's almost like golden points in your life where you have like
Right.
these opportunities where this is like a make it or break it moment.
Oh, literally. It's little opportunities and occurrences, events in your life that have pushed you in the direction that you want to be in. They're
Yeah.
like pinpoints,
Yeah, pinpoint
milestones.
moments, milestone
Exactly,
moments,
exactly.
exactly.
Like you can remember very key points in your life that are like, because of this, I now know this, or because of this, I've changed as a person. I've been through, horrible situations, and now I've grown from that.
Yeah.
And that's, usually a risky situation, something unnatural. I've experienced something that's unknown, unnatural, and I've used that to make myself unique. I've used that to increase my difference in life.
Yeah, build myself up or grow in some way.
Exactly, exactly. Like when I was a kid, my dad's a doctor. Um, I have a very faint memory of this, but you barely remember anything when you were a kid.
Yeah.
We were driving down the highway, and I guess there was some accident. Some dude on a motorcycle. My dad's a doctor, so I don't remember much. Next, you know, I see this dude to the left of me in the car, sitting in the back seat with me, his face just red, and my parents basically just drove him to the hospital. And you know, that could have been something that just traumatized me. It could also have been a dream because you know we're kids. Kids, we barely understand what's going on around us. We're just going with the flow, like a dream. But I'm pretty sure it happened. I've asked my parents about it. I don't remember what the responses were, but I'm pretty sure they said it happened.
Yeah.
Now, that's a very unknown, random occurrence. Like that hasn't happened to you before, has it?
No.
If I ask like 20 other people, I guarantee they have not had something like that similar happen to them. And as a result, I have this unique story to tell, which I'm telling now. And also, I probably subconsciously gained something from that, like a lack of fear in something.
Hmm.
Maybe that's the reason why I'm less afraid
It's
now
like a
of
lack of
things.
the. It's embracing the fear of the unknown. You're like, okay, and also
Yep,
showing your dad's got heart because like
exactly.
yeah.
I
Like,
subconsciously probably have like a lot more respect for
hmm.
him and my mom, because I'm pretty sure they were both in the car and decided that. I just you know little things that create us in life.
Oh yeah, I think the one for me would be my mom was like she used to be a fashion designer when she was like she got her degree in that, and when I was little, like I was watching all these cartoons that just asked her to draw shit for me,
Mm,
and then she'd draw stuff for me, and that got me into drawing
got
deep.
you inspired.
Yeah, yeah. And so like she used to once I saw her drawing, I wanted to draw all the time.
Okay.
And so she'd get me like these animal books, like the like huge ass encyclopedias.
Mhm.
And I draw
I
like
got those as well.
every single animal from
Yep,
those
yep. It
books.
basically teaches you how to draw.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
they drawing 101 books.
Oh no, it wasn't even like it was like actual like photos. So it's like you have like a
Oh,
photo of each animal
right.
like from Texas or from like America. And
Oh.
so I just go through like, ooh, I want to draw this one. Ooh, I want
Oh,
to
just
draw
like
this
not
one.
even a drawing book, just a literal book.
Yeah, a literal book of photos, and then
Oh.
like tell you like about the animal. And so I'm just like drawing page from page because of
Drawing,
her.
learning, getting
Yeah.
various amounts of different types of information
Hmm.
just from I can you draw this for me?
Yeah, just from her taking interest.
Yeah.
So it's like things like that where when other people show interest or when you take action, it's like
Yep.
you build up on that repetition of
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit like
Yep. And
over and
now,
over.
as a result from that, you probably have random facts about animals that we didn't even know existed, drawing skill, and you can read a book.
True.
Yeah. A lot of people can't do that. I'm partially one of them.
For you, let's go to we did modeling, we did
Modeling,
acting.
acting.
Did we really do fighting? Like
Uh,
how to
we tapped into fighting a fair bit.
for like starting like
Oh, starting. You gotta be okay with getting hit. That's
mm.
literally it. Everybody, everybody before they get into fighting are like, "Yo, I'm the biggest dog there is. There ain't no way." Yo, I've watched UFC every Saturday for years, bro. I watched WWE, even though they don't realize that WWE's a skit. I've watched fighting my whole life. I've seen my brother fighting people. I could probably fight people. I got that heart. Then they get punched in the face and they curl up in a little ball and they're not ready.
Nah, I hate that shit.
Yeah. That's why when I got into fighting, got into Muay Thai, I immediately wanted to get into sparring. I knew I wasn't ready. I know I was going to get my ass kicked, which I did.
Yeah.
Got my lip busted many times, but I got comfortable with getting hit. I got comfortable with negativity. I built thicker skin, literally, mentally, and basically. So getting hit has made me less afraid of getting hit, which I'm then able to use that mental capacity to think about other things. When
Mm.
I'm in a fight with somebody, I'm not worried about, okay, don't get hit. Because initially, when people are in a fight, they're like, if I get hit, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a lot. I'm not going to like it.
Now they're worried about the wrong
It might
things.
leave a scar, literally. And that's taking up time in a fight. When you're fighting and you're worried about all these other things, you're worrying through all that. While you're worrying, he's already hit you. And now you're thinking about a lot more things. Now you're thinking about that really did hurt. His next hit, is
Damn,
that
he
gonna
hit
hurt
hard.
harder? Am am I going to die? All these things. But once you've gotten used to this, when you've gotten used to the negativity and the pain, you're thinking about, okay, he's done this multiple times. I'm viewing a pattern. You're learning things. You're spending your time less thinking about the bad and thinking about the good. If he does this, he's gonna leave an opening. I'll be able to swoop in, hit him in the liver, make him collapse. The end. Now I don't have to worry about getting hit. I don't have to worry about dying. It's over. It's done. But when you're thinking about all the negative, you're leaving the variables in their hands. You're leaving the choices in their hands
Mm.
because you don't know what type of person that is. They might knock you out and just step on you, rob you, stomp you out, do. When you have the control in your hands, you can knock them out, get them help, knock them out, get away from them, knock them out. I don't know. You have options. You don't have options the other way around.
That seems to be the hugest piece that people don't realize is that with most things you have the control, but it doesn't feel like it. There's so many things you can do in each area of life to prepare
Right.
and build a skill set or build chance almost. It's like you do these things, your luck is more in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Because luck doesn't feel like luck once you realize you can do this, this, and this, and
Right.
then make it more in your favor.
Right. It's like a pie chart. Yeah, not like a pie chart. More like one of those spinning wheels.
Hmm.
You want more of your color on there, so that when it spins, it might hit your color.
Yeah, if my skill set's here, if I'm networking, if I'm doing this, this, and this,
You're
then
adding
you're
more
gonna
of that
see
color.
Dez on that board more and more.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's more green than red. Once you hit that green, you're in. You hit red, that red flips over and turns into a green.
And then even if it doesn't, if you get to spin again, you still have more
You
on
still get to
there.
spin again. Like literally,
Yeah,
it's not like you're gonna die.
yeah.
You're forever going to be spinning that roulette wheel,
Hmm.
and eventually, it gets easier. Eventually, it's more in your favor.
Yeah, because I watched some video recently, and it was like 10 people, like
Mm.
famous actors you didn't know that like bounced back, and there
Mm.
was like five on there that I had no clue like dealt with like so many things.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like I knew some of them, like I knew Oprah had been through a lot,
Hmm.
but then it's like I didn't know that Samuel L. Jackson was like an addict until he was like 40.
Hmm.
And I was like, holy, like he made
You
it
think about
big.
Keanu Reeves,
Oh yeah, with
most
his family.
wholesome person,
Yeah.
but you didn't realize he went through trials and tribulations. He's gone through trauma. I literally did a project on him for college because he was that inspirational of a
Yeah.
person to me. He's a wholesome person, and he's been through so much, and he's able to keep walking with a smile on his face,
Yeah.
giving back to his community and being humble.
Yeah, it's a true testament to
A person's character.
to a person's character, like the best you can be, and
Mm,
how if you keep on moving, you can make things work.
literally, like his best friend, I'm pretty sure committed suicide. His wife or girlfriend at the time died with maybe their unborn child.
Yeah, that's the one I
He,
knew about. I didn't know about his friend, but I knew about his
yeah, no,
family.
his friend committed suicide. I'm pretty sure. The best friend, and co-star. They were on some show back then, way before The Matrix.
Hmm.
I think it was hockey themed in Canada. I believe so. And he died. His name was something Phoenix.
Mm.
That's little things are trickling in.
Yeah.
His friend's name is something Phoenix, and he had killed himself, and it really threw Keanu into like a dark place for
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Which
But
makes sense. Like
yeah,
if you're
yeah,
human, like one of your closest, like I imagine another point, it's like it's basically like family. Like your
basically,
family.
your family's died. You're
Hmm.
never gonna see him again. You're never gonna get another laugh with him again, another conversation. But it's happened, and you just got to move on.
That happened with me like 3 years ago. I lost my little brother, and I made like the most egotistical statement ever. I was like, I'm gonna go crazy for like this month, like just like have fun. And I was like, then I'm gonna stop.
Uh,
That shit lasted like a year, and like I reevaluated my life. I was like, oh, I'm still. I thought I was like
I'm coping.
yeah, I'm still coping. I thought I had been doing better. So I was making smart moves.
Right.
I was still doing some things that benefited me,
Right.
but I was still having like way too much fun, and realized, oh,
You were
I
losing track of who you were before it happened. That was
exactly.
starting to take over your life.
Yes, and it was a huge coping mechanism. It was like, wow, like why am I doing these things? And then
Hmm.
talk to some people, talk to some. I'd already been talking to close friends, but
Right.
like talk to like a therapist, talk to friends even more, like
Hmm.
opened up more. And I was like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
I've really been, I've been almost going like diagonal, like
Hmm.
zigzagging. Like I go make some smart moves, then they like three
Then you
steps
go
back, and
back
then
down. You're not being consistent. You're being
exactly,
sporadic around
yeah,
it. And when you're sporadic, anything is possible.
yeah,
You get to get very lucky, but you could also see something that is worse than you could possibly imagine. You could find newer lows and then get comfortable with those new lows
yes, and
and
I
then
did get
never leave
comfortable with
it.
them. And then when you're sporadic, you can trick yourself into thinking you're doing good because you had a lot of high highs.
Right.
So it's like if you're zigzagging up and like you came back down, but you're going back up again, you're like, oh, I'm doing great
Yeah.
because you've hit highs, milestones.
Yeah.
And so you focus on those. It's like these small milestones that are doing great are the ones you focus on instead of the ones where you're messing up.
Yeah, it's like being a rich person and then the next day you're homeless.
Hmm.
You you have nothing and life is just horrible. And then somebody comes over and gives you a meal from In and Out, and you're like, "Bro, this is the best thing ever. Yo, life is worth living." When you still don't have a home over your head,
Yeah.
your perspective is changed, your priorities have changed, and you are just not doing what you probably want to be doing
Yeah, it's definitely important to be
subconsciously.
positive and realistic.
Right,
So it's like you're hoping for the best, but you have plans to keep on
right.
making those moves. Otherwise, you're just living in a fantasy land.
Being realistic is one of the most important parts.
Hmm.
Noticing that, oh, I got a meal from In and Out. That's great. That also means you're not gonna starve, but you still don't have a house over your head. So you
Yeah.
still gotta you can't live off that high.
You got to make plans for the next thing.
Yes. And you can't get too sucked up in these gratifying things because eventually they are going to be less gratifying. You can't be rich and then neglect food because
Yeah.
people have been giving you free food.
Because
Then you're a rich, starving person who's now dying of being anemic.
you've wasted your money on all the wildest things, like the things
Yep.
you don't
And you
need.
didn't think about the stuff that you have been grateful for
Hmm.
this entire time, like water. This water right here, I could have just sat here, never cracked the seal, never opened it, never drank it. But now, because I have done that, I'm able to talk for a lot longer.
Yeah.
I don't have cotton mouth, and I'm able to, not suffer. I appreciate water, and I appreciate you giving me the water.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
I think I want to end with this. For you, in your journey so far, what are you most proud of? And we can break it down by each one or just in general, the most.
I can I can give I can tell you what I'm most proud of each thing as well as a general proud thing.
Okay.
I'm happy that I'm proud of. I'm still going forward.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of. I'm not plateauing, even though in my head I'm winning the battle within myself. Like we all suffer these own battles amongst us and the people, environment, stuff around us, but we don't realize we are also battling ourselves. And the fact that I'm able to deal with that, deal with everything that's going on around me, and still push myself to do the things that I want to do, the things that I want to achieve. Like my end goal is to be a big time YouTuber, Twitch streamer, all that. I want to be able to go around, motivate people, make people happy, basically just increase the happiness of people around me and people that I don't even know. Because the world is pretty, dark, dirty place,
Yeah.
and people don't know how to be happy or be happy with being happy. It's so easy to be sad. It's like a quote that I heard from Theo Vaughn. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And some people are not used to change. So I
Hmm.
gotta tell them, I gotta translate to them that you can change. I gotta give them a reason. I gotta give them hope. And
And the sneakiest thing about that fact that nothing changes or nothing changes is that something's changing, you just don't realize it.
right,
You're usually moving back because you're in the same spot and things are developing
right.
around you.
You got to acknowledge the stuff that's happened around you, because
Yeah.
you could be making progress, but you're too worried on the negative that
Mm-hmm.
you inevitably don't make progress anymore because you're stuck up in your head.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm able to do all that and still doing the plethora of things that I'm interested in, which is an obscene amount. It's like a phrase that I've heard: a jack of all trades, master of none. That initially sounds like a bad thing,
Yeah.
You're jack of all trades. Da, da,
But
da,
that
da.
full saying,
The full saying that
yeah.
I found out from my uncle when I was in Alaska: a jack of all trades, master of none, is better than a master of one.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. And that's my response to my general thing that I'm proud of. As far as acting, I'm happy that I'm making good connections. I'm making progress. I am able to portray the characters that I'm being given,
Yeah.
because it is quite difficult to go from being Wick to being Dante to being Roman soldier number 3 to being a murderer when I've never murdered somebody in my life, to be a mailbox person when I've never driven a mailbox. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not a mailbox person, but
A mailman.
a mailman, a
Yeah.
mailman when I've never even put on the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my response to acting, modeling. I'm proud of the connections that I've made, the friends that I've made along the way. You see, if I never got into modeling, never would have talked to you. If I never got into modeling, I never would have gone out with some pretty great friends last night.
Yeah.
If I never got into modeling, I probably would have like a lower self-confidence.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
mostly proud of in modeling that I started modeling.
Yeah.
It's done a lot good for me, and it's kept me happy. It's making progress, and that's something that I'm very happy for.
Yeah. That's gold.
Yep. And as far as something I'm proud of in fighting, I'm proud of my loss of fear. I'm okay with getting hit. As long as I have a plan in my head, I can get hit, keep moving forward, and just improve. I'm proud that I am being the best I possibly can be.
Mm.
That's one another reason why I do fighting. It is just raw you. There is nothing else on the table. When you're playing a sport, it's the football. Is the football? Is it not? Is it the material? Is it the air in the ball? Is it your teammates? Is it the turf? Is it do do do? When you're doing business, is it the market? Is it all this? When you're singing, is it the acoustics in the building? When you're fighting, it's all just you. It's everything that you have learned so far. It is the gains that you have acquired. It's your brain versus his brain.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other. I mean, of course, there's like, oh, the flooring, oh, the types of gloves, but it's very it is the most rawest thing that there is.
I honestly enjoy sports more like that. I liked everything I did, but I like one on one more.
Mhm. That's
It's
another
up to
reason.
you.
That's another reason people like chess.
Yeah.
Chess is literally just your brain versus their brain. Can
Yeah.
you outsmart them? There is no outside variables. You don't got to worry about the weather. You don't got to worry about the crowd. You don't need to worry about a cat walking across the stage.
No matter what, it's on you.
It's all on you. Same thing
Yeah.
with fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud that I've acknowledged that, and I'm starting to do that.
Hey, yeah, those are all great.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
I'll just go with one. Um, I'm proud that I've kept up with this, and I'm very proud that I'm starting to post YouTube videos again,
Hmm.
because that was one thing where kind of I got lost in the sauce where I was like I don't really know which direction I'm heading, and
Of course,
I actually planned ahead, so now I know where I'm going. I know what I'm going for now,
exactly.
so I have a greater vision for what I'm doing. So that has me excited.
That's great.
And
Doing a whole lot better than I am. I still haven't posted a YouTube video in like 9 months.
hey, get back to it. You got it, man. And with that, take care, take action, and live a life led without regret.